She may not be tearing up the old plank boards, knocking down the bricks or busting doors, but she's twisting round this little town. Little Miss Twister, take cover from her twisted charm. You can't stop her. With the damage done, you're a lucky one if you miss her. Little Miss Twister, like a lightning fast turning funnel, to try to pull you into her funhouse tunnel. So you better run and you better hide, or you'll end up like one of the others, like a storm chaser who didn't run for cover from her twisting. You get tossed around, Little Miss Twister. Take cover from her twisted charm. You can't stop her. With the damage done, you're a lucky one if you miss her. Little Miss Twister. To fall, then a lightning strikes and she begins to squall. Get underground, or you will fall. I got the girl thing going on. It's a whirlwind of shoes and thongs. I'm overflowing with chiffon, and I dress myself to my favorite songs. I got the girl thing go through. I want the diamond ring, and pearls too. I need the whole shebang, something borrowed and blue. Till death do us part, and lots of I love yous. It's a girl thing. Try to understand, it's not a me thing. No different than my friends. I get what I want, and I want it back. And it's a girl thing. Ooh, it's a girl thing. I got the girl thing down pat. Red wine is my drink. Imagine that, warm bubbles flowing in my bath. When I put my jeans on, I ask if I love that. It's a girl thing. Try to understand, it's not a me thing. No different than my friends. I get what I want, and I want it back. And it's a girl thing. Ooh, it's a girl thing. I need a girl thing tonight. Gather the girlfriends for a really good time. Hit the dance floor till morning light. When tomorrow comes, we'll have something to hide. It's a girl thing. Try to understand, it's not a me thing. No different than my friends. I get what I want, and I want it back. And it's a girl thing. Come on, girls, yeah, it's a girl thing. Try to understand, it's not a me thing. No different than my friends. I get what I want, and I want it back. And it's a girl thing. Ooh, it's a girl thing.
Good morning, Johnson County. How are we this lovely, thankful Thursday? I am so glad to make it here. Oh, we're still playing music. Oh boy, hold on. That was Girl Thing by Tiffany, Carlen.
It's a girl thing.
It's a girl thing. And like I spilled my coffee 3 times this morning right here at the table.
Hey, that's all right. You have a very large cup, though.
Well,
What's that say?
I need a lot of caffeine.
Yeah. All right. Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Yeah. You look super cute. You look very Irish, Scottish.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Are you going to a Scottish party of some sort today?
No. I mean, maybe every day is just a Scottish party.
Okay.
You know, I'm gonna go see my not Vietnamese. Oh, I'm sorry, Heather. I'm gonna see my Korean friend, Heather Turner.
That's a big difference right there.
Yeah. Well, you know, I have a semi-adopted brother that's Vietnamese, and then I have Heather. She grew up down the street from me.
Okay.
And
she's your Korean friend.
Saddle Hills. Yeah, her mom used to run the Southern Made Donuts back when I was in high school. And, you know, the one by Hobby Lobby.
There's a donut place over there?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
By Hobby Lobby still? Like,
yeah. You know,
in
Tuesday
Burleson.
morning
We're talking about
used
Burleson.
to be right there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have I don't have tabs on like every donut shop in Johnson County, and there's a lot.
Well, everyone went there because it was Heather's mom, you know.
Okay, gotcha.
And, you know, she always knew what everybody wanted.
Enjoy Donuts on Renfro is, you know, where I would take the kids in the morning before school.
Because they have the little tiny donut holes that are powdered sugar, and then they're filled with little raspberry. Like, oh my gosh, those are so good.
Jelly donuts. That's a jelly.
My mom and
jelly one.
I mean, my dad and my daughter would fight over those.
I just like a glazed hole. I mean, you know,
donut hole.
Mm-hmm. But it's that was bad. That's not what I meant.
You know what's funny is like I can flip this because like when I was a kid, we had this puppeteer guy, and it was like Gerbert. I don't know if you heard of Gerbert. Anyway, he was this puppet and this guy, and one of the episodes was about making donuts, and then like there's a hole in my donut, like there's a hole in my heart, and so it was about Jesus is the donut hole in your heart.
Never heard. Is this for real?
Yeah, for real. We had it on VHS.
And his name was Gerbert.
We probably still have it because my mom keeps everything.
I might need you to find it just
oh
so
my
I
gosh,
can
it's
see
so
Gerbert.
good. It's Gerbert. He was cool.
That I'm very interested in hearing about and seeing Gerbert. I'm not sure I have a VHS.
Oh, don't
player
worry,
anymore.
we have some. Yeah, Mama's got more than one.
Do you have any that like still have a VHS tape like stuck in it?
Oh no.
Or any tape,
No, we don't
like
have
they're
that.
like, oh, we'll fix this later, and they went out and bought a new one.
No, but we well, she did do that quite a bit, but
what parent didn't do that when we were, well, especially when I was a kid, because that's all we had was the VHS. We didn't have DVDs yet. They didn't come out until I was gosh, I don't even know if I was a teenager, to be honest.
Here's Gerbert.
All right, let me see. Let me see. I'll have to pull it up and for anybody who may want to see. Nope, never seen Gerbert before. This is where
he was orange and he had bright orange hair.
This is where like our age difference does come into play on certain things.
Oh, sure.
Because we watched like different things growing up.
Well, I grew up on free TV. We didn't have cable ever in my entire life until after I moved out. And so like we watched a lot of like my dad liked Channel 58.
Wait, hold
which
on.
was
You had
TBN.
you had free TV?
Free TV.
Gotcha.
You use an antenna.
Yeah.
Like we had the big antenna
yeah.
mounted on the chimney back when we had a chimney. When they took the chimney down, it was a sad day. It never worked quite right, but they took down the antenna.
So what year did your parents get cable or any kind of?
Well, when I had my first marriage, I've only been married once for the record. It was September 2005. So I guess it was like 2006, beginning like January, probably like, oh, Sarah's gone. We're going to get cable and we're going to get a full-size kitchen.
That's interesting. That's when they did that's what they were like, well, what are we going to do without any kids in the house? I guess we have to get cable now.
2005 and 2006 were very lucrative in our industry and for particularly our business. And so Dad was very flush and at the time, and
got a little more generous with.
Well, and like we had lived in that house for over 20 years or for 20, a little over 20 years at the time. And it was a 1-butt kitchen and 9x9. It's now the laundry room. Yeah. So, Mom, when she cooks, which is not all that often, but when she does, it's for an army, so like she needed a bigger kitchen.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
And there was another door. And so that whole space, like the dining room and the new kitchen, and there was like a little entertainment center with a TV. And then my dad had his chair in there. And so there's a door in between that and the regular living room. And that whole side of the house had its own air conditioner. And Dad was super cold natured. So he would turn the heat on like for, I don't know, probably at least 6 months of the year.
Are you serious?
Well, it was definitely never lower than 70 in that side of the house if he was in there.
Okay.
And he would be freezing to death at 72 and he'd have his zip up hoodie and like have it hunkered down and he'd be sitting there with his hands in his coat and freezing to death, sitting there like, 6'4" large cowboy sitting there shivering to death. But yeah. And he would watch his TV super loud because he couldn't hear.
Was he on blood thinners?
No, he was never on any medication. He never took any medication ever. He was super healthy up until the mesothelioma just took over.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It was, never had high blood pressure, which I don't have high blood pressure at all. I'm like textbook perfect unless I get in traffic, that's different.
Or just listening to me in traffic or
or
not even in
spilling my
traffic.
coffee on a freaking thing for the third time. It's
So
Thankful Thursday.
yeah, that's literally what I was just going to say. So it is Thankful Thursday, a week before Thanksgiving. What are you thankful for today?
I am thankful for new resources. We got new resources yesterday and the day
Yes.
before, and I'm super excited for all those to be able to be. I'm ready to tap into them and find out what all that means and what all's going to happen in the next near future, semi-near future, and beyond.
I dig it. Okay, yeah. I'm going to say that I'm actually thankful for the very similar thing, right? Having the opportunity to get out and network and really talk about Ensemble Media Group and how we're growing, how our radio station is growing, and how we are expanding.
It's so exciting.
And
talk about it.
Yeah, opening our second radio station, Taco Community Radio, which is the voice of Tarrant County. And so we will be opening here quite shortly. And last night, what was one of the greatest things is to pick up one of our first shows.
Oh,
so
I guess I missed that part.
Yes,
That's
that was
exciting.
Christine.
Which one was Christine?
The beautiful dark-haired
was she sitting at
woman.
the table with us at the end?
Yes, I was sitting. I was in a meeting with her and Glenn for quite a while, and we were talking about
awesome.
it. So yeah, I mean, honestly, she's like the first new show. We have some of our other shows that are going to simulcast over there, like Tatiana's show, How to Be a Human, will actually end up. She'll air directly from Fort Worth rather than driving over here, and so it's opening that opportunity that for some of the people who are driving. Won't have to come all the way here. They can go to Fort Worth. And
that's
so
awesome.
And we don't have, I mean, we don't have many that are, outside of the city right now. And so, I mean, it's just going to expand very, very quickly. And I'm super excited. And we will be broadcasting from Ensemble Co-working in Fort Worth, which is a collaborative community of business people.
Uh-huh.
And so we are not joined together. Ensemble Media Group is separate than Ensemble Co-working, which my sister probably wants to kill me that I named, kind of borrowed her name. And but it just makes sense. I was like, but it's Ensemble, Tamara, and it's a radio station.
Doing it together, but separate.
Yeah. So super excited. That's going to be launched January.
Ooh.
It may be soon. It's kind of all happening kind of fast. Yeah. And so one of the things that I mean, gosh, so yesterday morning we attended the Salute to Service
that was
breakfast,
so cool.
And it's the first one that the Fort Worth Chamber has put on. And it was a panel of veterans, 5 veterans,
business leaders, or city leaders,
Yeah.
like Beck. She was a city leader.
Yes.
I mean, that was an incredible group of individuals. And like she said, it was basically beat into us to be leaders and hire leaders. And
when you're, and each of them, I think,
adapt and overcome, as my brother says.
I think each of them had served at least 20 years, right? Now, one of the
I can't remember that part.
I know that one of the speakers, who is a friend of mine, he served for 20 in the Marines. And so each of them had just these nuggets that honestly we don't talk to veterans enough about those challenges of when they come out of a 20-year service. It's not just about, okay, what's next or transitioning back into civilian life. It's who's going to hire me.
Yeah.
And not just who's going to hire me, but what are the challenges that they actually faced.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that so much because like Jeffrey King, he commented and he said, employers, you guys have these algorithms set up for these resumes that come in and like they have all these qualifications that you have to meet, like a bachelor's degree or whatever. And he said, you guys need to throw that out. These people have been training and
Well-
learning to lead and direct and run people and missions.
Specifically what he said, though, he said very specifically, is take that requirement to have a bachelor's degree off of your
resume
off your
requirement.
off of your requirements.
Filtration system.
and I'll agree with that. I mean, if I could have stood up, I mean, I haven't spent 20 years in the military, but I don't have a college degree.
I don't either.
And that's not abnormal. I mean,
Right.
in some environments, I mean, I was a regional manager for Roche Diagnostics, at the young age of 25.
Yeah.
And I was the youngest one. And so, I worked. So despite not having a college degree, I worked my way up the corporate ladder.
My brother has an 8th grade education. He's got 3 businesses and
Right.
900 acres here, and he supports 200 acres over here. And this is, leaders lead regardless.
Right. Right. And
either you're going to lead or you're not, or you're employable. That doesn't just, even if you're not if you're a layman or whatever.
Well, that's what they were.
That's
what they were kind of talking about too, though. Is that a lot of our military who spent 20 years in, and I mean, and so like for Jeff, I know he's been in combat, and what Beck talked about was that she hasn't been in combat, but her transitioning, and that's where you have to be able to have a different conversation.
She was like, I can't do these ROTC children.
Yeah.
They have no idea what it's really like.
Right.
She seems to be a real go-getter.
Yep. Yep.
She's red like me. Maybe redder.
No.
Oh,
her hair you talking
yes.
about? Okay. I was like,
no, I meant red.
We'll talk about
that
later. Yeah, she's a redhead. Yeah. So that part, I mean, was just really interesting, and what it opened up is, part of this was, okay, how are we going to work with our veterans on Taco Community Radio?
Right.
And, we have the Vet for Vet show here with Angelo Roca, and he's focusing on the veteran and their story. Like, why did you join the military? What was your experience when you were in there? What was it like when you did transition back into civilian life, and how did that affect your family? And
right.
And so he really dives deep in, like, with the veteran about their story. And so what we want to do at Taco Community Radio is come from a different angle and talk about these resources and these issues of employment, or wanting to, get out of the military and start your own business. What do you do? Where do you go? Where's all the resources? And, like we learned about Gallant Few.
That's what I was about to say. What was the name of that organization?
Gallantfew.org. Awesome.
I already
organization.
told somebody about this yesterday.
So did I.
A veteran. I was like, he's in business, and I was like, oh, you need to check this out. Like, it's brand new. It's hot on the streets.
It's not brand new.
Well, but the community group in Fort Worth is brand new. This group that they just put together, and it's
the committee. They're called. It's like kind of like a committee, but yeah. So it's there's tons of resources on gallantfew.org, by the way, and it's not just the business stuff or the employment stuff, but there's also stuff for mental health, and everything else that they've got something that can help you, and having those resources out there where you can hopefully, help prevent a veteran who's suffering from PTSD from taking their own life. And it happens every day. And so, and I think somebody even talked about a veteran they knew who lost his business after the pandemic, and they took their life. I mean, and it's all preventable. And some of that comes down
it's
to
okay to ask for help.
Absolutely ask for help. And there's so many different lifelines for that.
I really liked at the breakfast before, when we were talking about the ladies with all those
we need to talk about that.
Oh man, that was so good.
The power of we. And so the veteran show for Taco Community Radio is actually going to be called Unclassified.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah. And so we'll dive deeper into some of the shows that are going to be coming from that. And what's great about it is that some of them will be airing on both of the stations. So that's super exciting. And when we come back from the break here in a few minutes, we'll talk about the power of we and what we experienced on Tuesday morning.
Oh man, it was good.
It was good.
It was
right?
like business church for women.
So I don't know if you like realized at all that when I was introducing the MC, I was reading and then not reading, and I lost my place at one point. I'm like, damn it. And then when I came back in, I was like, I just got to keep rolling with it the way it is because there were some typos on it. And I'm like, what the hell? You're trying to mess me up? So, all right, well, we're going to tell you more about the power of we and some other things that are happening in the entrepreneurial world because it is Global Entrepreneur Week. Oh, and that's
I love my job.
It's an international event. So we'll be right back after this break.
Abnormal realities.
I love my mom.
Yep. She sent me a message.
My mom did?
Yeah, Wednesday night. And she invited me over tomorrow night to watch Titanic and share a bowl of popcorn. And I accepted.
You did?
Yep.
That'd be fun.
And she calls it Chaps Only Night. Every Saturday night.
Look.
Miss Dixie,
Look,
how you doing? He said, it's my mom, bro. All right, it's my mom.
I want to hear the answer to the Titanic and popcorn. Go ahead, Mom. What's up?
Oh!
Hi, boys. I just
Mom.
wanted to ask Rocky if he wanted butter on that popcorn or not.
I would
my
rather
God.
have the butter somewhere else, but if popcorn's the only place I can have it, I'll take it.
Jeez,
Hey,
dude.
nobody says I can't roll around in it for a little bit.
All right, Mom.
That is my
Love you.
girl. I love you,
Mom.
Dixie.
Abnormal realities
My mom. Love you.
Dixie.
I love you too.
with Ron and Rocky. Weekdays, 4 p.m. and 10 p.m. on JOCO Community Radio.
Holy crap.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
JOCO Community Radio. Listen live at tunein.com.
That's why when you said that, I was like,
Red, blue, purple. I'm red. You're purple. She's definitely blue.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
and we don't care
JOCO.
what color you are.
What is that one? The Dr. Seuss with the stars on their bellies, whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Anyway, okay.
Don't know what you're talking
JOCO
about.
Community Radio is proud to be the voice of Johnson County, Texas, and is live 24/7 on the TuneIn Radio Network. TuneInJoco.com is the place to find all the ways to listen and to watch. And the station app is also available for free on Android. and
Who is-
Apple
Who are you? Whose voice are you doing this
For
morning? Just do a
free?
normal.
Like, no, there's so many voices in my head.
Clearly.
Simply search your store. Check out our lineup and more at JOCOcommunityradio.com. This episode and more brought to you by Next Level Claims, making your insurance work for you. Reach out to your Texas sales rep at 844-TEX-HAIL. That's 844-839-4245. And be sure to dress your arms and more at thetiffy.com. That's THETIFFIE.com.
All right.
And who to ho?
I don't know. Actually, we'll talk about that later. So,
Not me. 1, 2, 3, cheerio.
yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about it later. Welcome back to the second half of JOCO Vibes here on JOCO Community Radio. I'm Tiffany Carlen with Sarah Reeves, or if you know her by Sarah Arden, or if you know her by Red, is what I call her. But so like Tamara knew who you were, but she was like, that's why I didn't recognize your name because you're Sarah Arden on
Yeah.
social
She
media.
was like, I've never met you before. And I was like, yeah, like we're Facebook friends. And she was like, wait, what?
And I'm like, I'm pretty sure you guys have met at some point because our kids have gone to school together. So I actually think I introduced her when Maximus, it was like their graduation from stripling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5th grade graduation.
Yeah. So, okay. So here's a cool resource. All right. We just told you about this. First of all, can we let me just go ahead and plug, since you mentioned Jeff King, who was on the panel for Salute to Service
Mhm.
yesterday morning. He owns Tarrant Construction Contracting.
Okay.
Tarrant Contracting.
Right. I
And he
see
does
their cars or their trucks all over the place.
Yeah. And he's also a part of Falcon Construction. So they do all commercial. And so if you need someone, he's a spectacular guy, and it's a veteran owned business. So support your veterans. If you're looking for other resources, though, we kind of dropped this one thing out there that we talked about last night, which is this resources for small business owners and entrepreneurs, and it's called Sparkyard. So you can go to sparkyard.co, and this is a free service. It's a completely free website with all of these different resources. So if you're going to go start your own business and you're not sure, what you need, or you need a resource for this, or you need a reference for that, you can go to sparkyard.co. You can click on resources, you can click on events, and then there's like this whole roadmap thing you can go through, and you can research data for a community on this website. And then there's events, there's monthly events, Sparkyard.
There's a lot of events that
networking
they post on that. We were going over that last night. There are so many different events.
Right. So, and then they hold their own networking event once a month. And Sparkyard was, it came out of the HSC.
I don't
Morning,
nope.
Karen Perkins.
Karen!
She's watching live this morning. We're so glad you got to join
cool.
us. But anyway, so now it's been turned over officially. There was a vetting process for who was going to kind of manage Sparkyard and keep it going, because it was time to move from where it was on to the next phase of how it can help entrepreneurs and nurture and blah blah blah, whatever. So now the new manager of Sparkyard is
Tamara Payne.
Tamara Payne, in conjunction with her pain-free marketing company and Ensemble co-working. So congratulations. And it was a vetting process. There was I think the Better Business Bureau was trying to, they put their hat in the ring, and I believe the Fort Worth Chamber of Commerce. But Tamara's been working side by side with Sparkyard and other entrepreneurial resources across the DFW area for years.
Yeah.
I mean, she's had Ensemble Co-working's been open for 8 years now. Sparkyard's been around for 10. Did he say 10 years?
At least, yeah.
And so, and I mean, and it's not just for people in Fort Worth.
I mean,
it's for the entire
you can get
DFW area.
It's on the World Wide Web.
Yeah. So it's super, super cool. And
for free.
Thursday, that's today, November.
T-minus 3 days till my birthday. Yeah, anyway. Sorry.
Oh, that's a virtual event. That's a late night one. DFW Small Business Tech Day is today, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So it's already happening, but you could still jump in because it goes to 1 o'clock. But there's top industry leaders and top experts are discussing how to maximize productivity and profits in an ever-evolving tech-driven world. TriQuest is partnering with the Fort Worth Economic Development to bring you this cutting-edge event. Celebrity speaker lineup: Roger Herjavec, A Shark's Eye View of the Future, and others is part of that. And you can also, at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. today, you can meet the author Peter De Silva. He embarked on a transformative journey with Peter De Silva, an accomplished senior leader who over 3 decades of financial services industry experience. And so he's going to talk about his perspective, taking stock, 10 life and leadership principles from my seat at the table. So that's kind of cool. So now there's also a speed networking event.
Ooh.
starting at 11:30 this morning. This is how many events are going on.
Yeah. And
right?
that are listed free on this app. And like, a lot of times you have to sign up for an association or be a part of a group. And like, then that's when you know how to get to these things. But they're like plugging it all in right now.
And then you can pick.
It's all fresh. You
So-
can go do any of them.
So, I mean, I'm throwing this out there about this morning, but if you go to sparkyard.co and click on events, then you can get to this entire list. But like the speed networking is with bankers.
Oh, cool.
Frost Bank in partnership with Tarrant, SBDC Global Entrepreneurship Week, and TCC Trinity River Campus welcomes you to Speed Network with a banker.
Very cool.
You'll connect with lenders and SBDC advisors to discuss credit, small business resources, etc. So that's kind of cool. Man, there's too many things to go through to tell you everything that's happening. And then this evening, you had to have a ticket for this already, but it's the EOE, which is the entrepreneur. It's the
nope.
Okay, I'll come
I'm
back to
not
that in
good at
just a
those
second.
acronyms.
I'll come back to that in just a second.
But
But it's
use
put on
them in
by
text messages.
it's put on by Fort Worth Inc. So that it's Entrepreneurs of Excellence is what it is, and that's the awards dinners tonight. So
Oh.
at the Fort Worth Club. So, but you had to have a ticket. So, yeah. And my sister has one. and I'm trying to get mine right now. Actually, I'm a little late to the party. I'm like, so I'm reaching out to some of the people I know who are, connected in with. I'm like, hey, anybody who might need to sell one of their tickets or can't make it now? Let me know. I'll buy it.
There's
So,
always one.
But it's an awesome awards dinner, and I mean, it's just a great. So get involved. Even if you don't get the magazine, fortworthinc.com is a place that you can go to learn all about that. So, all right. So sparkyard.co is one of the resources. And of course, you have Global Entrepreneur Week. Okay. If you are a small business owner, or you don't have to be that small, but you've started, your own business and you've been, successful and you're growing and you want to be able to share some of your success and nurture help nurture another small business owner or someone who's even considering starting their own business, right? You can get involved in
or maybe you inherited one.
Oh, there you go. Regretfully or resentfully?
I love my job.
I know. But you can go to GewNTX.co. That's GEWNTX.co. And you want to talk about another list of this is everything that's going on in North Texas for Global Entrepreneur Week. And there's an events calendar that I'm not even going to get into because it is an unbelievable list of how many events. And Fort Worth leads again in the most events for North Texas for Global Entrepreneurship Week. And
that's awesome.
And so we've attended 2 this week so far. And
the ladies' breakfast, 2 days ago.
Yes.
One of my biggest takeaways from that was so cool because it was a whole room full of women entrepreneurs. And what my little discussion table came back with, we're all like strong, powerful women, like going and getting it done and, whatever it takes. And, me personally changing truck batteries or like I fixed my mom's headlights yesterday. Awesome. Yay. So like we all had some sort of avenue where we either had a good mentor, found a good mentor and utilized that, or we, figured out that YouTube is our best friend. And then we also knew that, yes, we're strong, powerful, stubborn, hard-headed, gonna go get it done women, but it's okay to be vulnerable. And it's good to be vulnerable and know that you don't have all the answers. And that way you can be more willing to find somebody or allow somebody to help you, to teach you, to guide you, to, show up for you, and that was like really super cool that I saw that happen in our little group discussion. That was a super cool moment to me.
So we had
strong and vulnerable.
Yeah, we had all right, there was 4 speakers, and I'm gonna plug each of them right now. Samantha Renz with Evolving Texas. She talked about defying stereotypes. Erica Ramos, she is the owner and founder of Game Theory, and she spoke on defining success. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about each one of these. Jill Darden, she's with the Fort Worth Black News. She turned about
She was so cool.
right, turning passion into profit. And Melissa Ice with the Net and Worthy Co. And she talked about redefining success because she helps women who are in need, whether they've been homeless or
maybe they've even been in jail.
yeah,
or
and she helps them
domestic abuse.
She helps them redefine and move on to the next stage of their life by giving them jobs with dignity,
regaining
and
control of their lives.
Yeah. And learning a craft too. I mean, so they're doing all these things. They sell an amazing, and we're going to have each of these women on the radio with us. And I'm super excited about that. In fact, our table lead, she, I have the books in my car, but she's releasing her first book, and I won the there's nothing normal about Sarah. Where did that come from?
I don't know. I don't know, Chris Phillips.
That's funny. That's funny. I just looked up and saw, and you saw that too. So, like one of the things that we talked.
I'll meet you at the rack later.
So one of the things that we talked about that I found to be a good takeaway that I couldn't help but talk about when the mic was put in my hand, and I was promoting JOCO Community Radio and Taco Community Radio. And if you don't know what Taco is, then you've missed the beginning of the show. And that is our announcement about the voice of Tarrant County, which is Taco Community Radio, which will be officially opening in January in Fort Worth.
Exciting.
So JOCO Community Radio is not going away. We'll be moving in about a year, hopefully sooner, once the new space is built. But other than that,
well,
we're not leaving.
We will not be virtually moving, just moving the in-person office and studio.
So the breakfast that we went to 2 days ago is called She Thrives Here. This is the 5th annual Power of We event, which is Power of Women Entrepreneurs. And this was, of course, founded and launched by none other than my sister, Tamara Payne. And it was at an awesome location called Wed Spaces, which is
it was gorgeous,
super cool. And that building, if you were there, it's down on Park Place, and it's across from Esperanza's.
Where you can still get the Joe T's dinner. It's on the menu. Joe
Is it?
T's dinner.
Okay, so it's next to where Shadra used to be, but Shadra moved, and it's of course across from the co-working space, because Esperanza's and the Italian place and choral, and there's an art thing, and then the ensemble co-working is there, and then which is right next to Fort Worth Neighborhood Grill, which is a staple if you've never eaten their awesome catfish, and amongst other things. And so I've eaten there way too much when I was actually officing in ensemble several years back. So anyway, so Wed Spaces, check it out. They've got it's I mean, you could call it a wedding venue, but they do any kind of event there.
Yeah. I mean, I saw you could have a private cigar night or something. I don't know if they would do that, but there's a men's room kind of
it's cool.
That was really cool. Like a study in the den.
Yeah. Yep. And then some, feminine space, and then another back event space that's all brick walls, and which is the original building. It was just absolutely fantastic. And of course we connected with some amazing women. But the one thing that I talked about, and that was a good takeaway for our table, was talking about defining success. And typically when we're defining success, we're all looking at that one giant goal.
Right.
I'm going for that.
Right.
That's what I want. And in that,
I know mine is really good. Go ahead.
we forget to celebrate the daily successes. And when you do celebrate the daily successes, especially if you're needing to feel better about what you're accomplishing, so that like that's, and because I have a whiteboard in my office, and it has each one of my companies and responsibilities has its own column.
Right.
And because I need to visually see, okay, I've got to take care of this for Tiffy. I got to take care of this for, JOCO. Here's my personal to-do list, right? And what I started doing is I'll go and cross off the things that I've accomplished. And I don't care if it was you or somebody else came in and picked up an eraser and was like, you want me just, if those things are done, you want me just go ahead and erase? I went, no. I said, no, don't. I said, because
those are my wins, man.
those are my wins. And that's where I get to see.
I got stuff done, man.
Yeah, I'm getting it done. And so, so one of the things I threw out there when the microphone was put in my hand was to not just do something like that. Like that's my visual, sticky note, right? So to speak. But if you really need it, then, when the day ends, take a sticky note, date it. And if it's more than one thing, don't put it on one sticky note. Do each individual thing on its own sticky note with a date and put it on a mirror. Okay, so if it's your bathroom mirror
or your door,
whatever it is. The mirror, I kind of liked. I like the idea of the mirror thing for some people.
Looking at yourself and visualizing everything.
So you're gonna create this silhouette of yourself, all with your successes, your daily successes, and then when you fill it up, take a picture before you throw them all away and start over again. And so, and it's just a great visual tool to say, okay, I did get some shit done.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I feel better about it. And maybe one day your sticky note list is, your win list, your daily success, group is smaller, but that's okay because it may have just been a bigger project.
Yeah.
So what was yours?
So one of the things that I pull from is that, everything is on me, right? At my office. It's all me. Like I have people that I can call and get help. And, like my associate Travis rebuilt computer for me, things that I cannot do. But, like whenever I was leading up to this moment where I had to have Travis rebuild a computer for me, it was because none of my stuff was working and I was trying to get ready to go to Arkansas or Alabama or something. I don't remember. And none of my stuff would work and I couldn't figure it out. And I was just like banging my head up against the wall, and like I found myself laying on my yoga mat behind my desk, which is where I have like a little nap mat for power naps in the afternoon when I need it. And I'm in the fetal position, crying my eyes out. And my friend walks in the office and sits down at my chair and is looking at me and he goes, "So it's like that today, huh?" And I was like, uh-huh. I mean, and I'm just like crying my eyes out completely. And because I was like, I cannot go any further. I have exhausted all of my resources, all of my physical strength. And then, God showed up and he put a skilled laborer in my path. And I allowed them to do what they were sent there to do.
Yeah.
Right. And so like now that was like over 2 years ago. And I have not laid on the office floor in the fetal position crying my eyes out since then.
But sometimes it's okay to do that too. It's like,
Sure.
It's okay to say, you know what, I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah. But one of the things is that because of that moment I was able to overcome because of the assistance of others, I'm now a lot more likely to ask for help sooner.
Yeah.
And, if the person that I asked doesn't show up, that's okay because God provides another helper. And I'm like, all right, like my truck broke down in the, out there in the field the other day, last Friday, and I had the right guy in the truck. He fixed the diesel leak within 2 minutes. And like, he's like, "Oh, it's no problem. We just do this." And I was like, "What?" I would have, I would have had to go home, but like, hope to God I made it home. And,
right.
And then like, my mast wouldn't go up, my 60-foot telescoping mast. I like to raise it up just so I can put it down.
Because you can.
Yes, I can. Unless the hose breaks, then, but he was able to take that hose off and like we go to a mechanic shop and they make another one. He puts it back on. I would have not have been able to figure that out for 4 days, and he did it within an hour.
It's to the point of that is to say, it's okay that we don't know how to do everything that needs to be done for our business.
It's good to allow other people to do what they're good at.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, finding the right people
Yeah.
to do that. And, if you're looking,
And being thankful for the ones that came before them.
absolutely. I think Gallant
'Cause I
Few,
am.
I think gallantfew.org could be a good resource for you too, because, how many veterans come out who that's what they did. They were
and
diesel
this
mechanics.
guy this guy was in the Navy and he did anything that had wheels, like
Right.
he's like anything except for a tank, that doesn't have wheels, that's
Yeah.
the whatever. So like he was extremely familiar with, like he had never seen my equipment before on my truck, and he was like, okay, so this does this, okay, I got it,
Yeah.
I was like, are you shitting me right now? Like, thank God.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
So that's like the really cool thing about being at the Power of We, and being a part of, a women entrepreneur group like that, because
Because they've probably been through something similar and they got somebody that you can call.
I mean that, but also to see too that, you know, we're not alone when we get overwhelmed, that there's other women who have gone through the same challenges in their, with their small business, or whatever it is that their goals that they're trying to reach. And, one of the women at the table with us was brand new back into the workforce, and she definitely has a story. There was some stuff going on, and she was talking about her kids, and you could see that she was holding back on her personal life, and she was there with her employer, who's in the tech industry, and it like everybody was dealing with their own challenges within their business, and we were all there to just help each other. And so that's the power when you get together with other entrepreneurs. Is it doesn't matter if you're women. There was nobody there competing with each other.
Yeah.
Nobody was there to look better than somebody else.
No.
They were just there to be a part of something awesome, and to see, what they could take away from it, but
And
also
how
what
they
they could
could
give
cheer
out
for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, you know,
It's
I
a
don't know how many,
girl thing.
yeah, I don't know how many women came by and went, I love your shoes.
Yeah.
I love your shoes. And I'm going, I love your shoes. And, I can't fit into those, but they're super cool. So anyway, there's just a lot out there.
Yeah.
Right. And so for
I'm so excited to share that veteran stuff, because like I've got several friends that need that. And I'm like, man, that's so exciting.
Yeah. I can't say it enough. Gallantfew.org.
Gallantfew.org.
So Karen said she loved the sticky note suggestion. Thanks, Karen. And Karen was there.
Yeah.
I mean, and so she had a lot of takeaway. Everybody had some good takeaways and just good information. So so check out all these different events that are going on across the area, whether you go to GEWNTX.org, which is GEWNTX.co, is where you can find out the rest of the events going on for Global Entrepreneurship Week, North Texas. There's so many events going on.
Sparkyard.
And then sparkyard.co is where that's an ongoing resource for events, for small business owners, for someone who's getting ready to launch. There's employment connections in there. And then one of the cool things we did at the networking last night was all the different dry erase boards that were up to where we could add, they wanted us to add more resources. Like, hey, what are we missing?
Right.
Is this not on our list yet?
Right. Like I added the Women's Energy Network. Like,
Yeah. There's so much to it. So so we're about to go. And remember, there's other shows going on later today. We're spinning.
Gosh, we went so fast.
I know. We're
today.
spinning
That's what she
Texas
said.
artists in between all of our live talk shows. So be sure to download the app. It is free, or you can listen on the TuneIn Radio Network, where we're live 365 on all of that. And be sure to watch for all the information on Taco Community Radio and how you can get involved with this next station or this one. Feel free to reach out. And
Johnson County is still doing big things.
have an amazing week. Next week, Stuffing Wars.
Bless them up and bless them out, guys.
God bless. Have a great day.
Bye.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County, JOCO Community Radio.